What is a type of service that is actually worth paying for? A good lawyer. I know we harp on them and they'll likely overcharge you, but it's marginal if they know their crap and you find one who specializes in what you need. They can get you out of tricky situations as well as stop yourself from getting into more trouble in court. Or you could Bundy it. Up to you. A day of wedding planner to take care of any issues that come up on your wedding day. My wife and I had a smallish budget for our wedding, but we paid $750, I think, for the day of wedding planner, because I insisted we have her. She was an absolute godsend. Our caterer forgot to deliver the booze, and she just, kind of, magically made booze appear. I don't know what she did. I think she ordered a TaskRabbit and had somebody pick it up, but she literally saved the day. She probably did a ton of other things I don't even know about. 100% worth it. She was an absolute godsend. Our caterer forgot to deliver the booze, and she just, kind of, magically made booze appear. Higher Jesus. Got it. Mechanics, electricians, and plumbers for sure. Those are areas requiring specialized knowledge and skills to be effective, not to mention potentially hazardous. Second this, I'll do little stuff myself, but if I reach a point in the research where I realize it's not practical to do it myself, changing out a belt on my washer, say, which would require more time than I want to spend on a second person, not to mention the surety that it's fixed right the first time, makes it worth every penny, and it's a lot less pennies than I would have expected. 2. PBS membership for $5 I get access to all their passport video content. That's a lot of steaming shows that don't expire and I can catch up on shows easily. Plus, I love PBS so I'm supporting a good cause at the same time. I remember a Crash Course episode from PBS. I miss John Green and Hank Green. A cleaner. I got one about 3 months ago and the amount of stress that it's relieved is amazing. I don't have to spend my whole weekends off work cleaning and I have time for myself again. And things are properly clean, not just wiped over. It's a great feeling to have an environment that feels cared for, without having to do it all. Getting a cleaner has been the single biggest investment in my self-care as an adult. No more guilt over having a dusty house. No more working 40 hours a week just to spend 3 more hours cleaning my place. I recommend a cleaner to everyone I can. Barbershop. I usually trimmed my beard at home but it never was great. Now I go to the barber each month for a trim. I have long head hair so I save money from that part. It is not that expensive and it is worth it. And if you can, try going to the shady looking barbershop with Hispanics that don't speak a hint of English. They're usually really good barbers. Why pay someone for a job I'm capable of doing myself? I can deliver food. I can drive a taxi. I can and do cut my own hair. I did, however, pay my urologist because I am unable to pulverize my own kidney stones. I did, however, pay my urologist because I am unable to pulverize my own kidney stones. Well, not with that attitude. Probably not the most popular opinion, but I think a therapist is a service worth paying for. I've dealt with some traumatic crap in my life and therapy sessions have kept me from making some very bad decisions. If you have a pet, pet sitters in your home or there's a pet sitter is so much better for your pet than a kennel. As someone who has worked in a luxury kennel and is currently working with a dog walking sitting company, pet sitting is the way to go. It's more expensive but you're paying for quality. For your dog to not be in a cage for most of the day, and for the individual attention that can only be given by one-on-one time with a human. A pool chemical service. I used to do all of my own chemicals for years. It was pretty simple, but then it turned on me and I was spending up to $40 a week on chemicals and could not get it under control. A friend of mine recommended a pool service he uses and I tried it. I still do the cleaning, but they do the chemicals. It now costs me $40 a month and if it even starts to look cloudy or has algae I just call them up and they straighten out at no extra cost. Also a landscaper. It costs me roughly $90 a month but they do all the yard work in 2 hours what would take me a month to do. My neighbor's parents used them and his mom cried when she saw how great their place looked after a couple of hours. This will probably get buried but I haven't seen anyone mention unlimited data and streaming services. I don't pay for internet or cable. I pay the extra $30 on my phone for unlimited data and $15 for Hulu and $10 for YouTube Red. Paying for YouTube is not necessary, but I do enjoy the music feature and being able to shut the screen off while watching a video, so I think it's worth it. For $55 per month I can watch anything I want on my own schedule. I also have a projector, so no worries about watching on a small screen. My parents on the other hand pay upwards of $400 for internet and TV. Laundry service, where they come and pick up your dirty clothes and then return them washed and folded. You pay by the pound. Crappy LPT. Buy all thin clothing to save on laundry costs. Spotify Premium, if you listen to music as much as I do. No ads and you can just download playlists instantly to play them offline. I don't have the patience to download each song album individually. I just make playlists over the course of a few weeks and download it. Premium is 100% worth it. I have zero patience for ads when it comes to pretty much all forms of media at this point. It's a big part of the reason why I cancelled my cable TV and only stream now. Are you thinking about renting out? Not nightly or Airbnb, a second house that you own or are paying for? Get a goddamn property management company, otherwise it's going to be a second job for you. For 10% minus 15% of the rent charged, they handle all the interaction with the tenant, including searching for and vetting them, evicting if needed, etc. As far as the tenant knows, the company owns the house. They never know it's actually you. Of course, you still have to pay for any repairs, maintenance that's needed. What is an example company of this? Paying for high quality food and alcohol. I am by no means extremely wealthy, but I enjoy expensive wine and good steak to cook at home. Rather do that any day than buy some designer pants or something. My girlfriend and I always joke that once we strike it rich, all the money is going towards food rather than expensive cars or clothes. After all though, the ingredients alone can quite literally take a meal from average to incredible. Spotify Premium. Best $10 a month I ever spent. It has completely changed my life and how I intake music. Their Discover weekly playlists that are tailored to you personally have helped me discover hundreds of new artists I would have never found. A survey I read said on average people over 30 years old stop seeking out new music. That makes me sad for them, because with the world at our fingertips we have more access to new music than ever before. Also with Premium you can download all your songs to listen to even on airplane mode or offline. A survey I read said on average people over 30 years old stop seeking out new music. In fact, most people's adult music taste doesn't change very much after puberty, is most impacted during puberty and doesn't change much after age 25 or so. A cleaning service to come clean your place. My GF and I live in a smallish apartment with a dog and 2 cats. The only non-open space is the bathroom and we don't have a dishwasher. Finding and hiring a quality person to come clean our place twice a month has saved us from so many fights. It's worth the $80 a month out of my pocket. No one in a relationship ever feels like the other person is doing enough to keep the space clean, so pay the fee and live in peace, lol. Cooksmarts. It's a meal plan service without the delivery and it's like $6, $8 a month depending on if you do a monthly or yearly plan. For $6, I don't have to think about what I'm going to eat for dinner. I don't have to spend time meal planning. The meals are easy and delicious. And I've saved money on groceries because I have less food waste. Meals purposefully use similar ingredients and use leftovers from previous meals. And it teaches you how to cook with neat little videos, too, as well as provides nifty guides about what to store in the freezer, which meals are best to save in the freezer for later, and tries to use in-season ingredients to cost you less. I end up spending $50, $70 total each week, including non-Cooksmarts things like coffee or lunch foods or something, and have 16 meals for the week. Plus, they have optional meal prep steps that if you do on Sunday makes cooking the meals throughout the week a breeze. When I do meal prep on the weekends, meals take 30 minutes or less to make. Gutter cleaning. £40 for a. Doing something I think is disgusting. B. Stopping a potential problem further on in future, and C. A quick job. So I don't have to worry about chatting to workmen for an entire day. I don't have to even clean the house before they come to the house because they don't come in. I'd pay double that if I needed to. Honestly, when I have my own home I would like to get a cleaner. When I get depressed my environment suffers and it becomes a loop because I get depressed about my setup. I am going through grad school and it may be the stress, but I know I won't have a whole lot of time to clean at the start of my career. Remivalists. The older you get, the more stuff you accumulate and the less you want to lift all your crap from one place to another. Maid Service. I didn't grow up with anything like this. My fiance had, with 3 kids, until I figured the rest of the time they're living at home I would pull in 8 hours a day at work, come home and clean every day. Now we have a maid service once a week. OMG, the feeling of walking into a clean house, everything wiped down, put away, vacuumed, to the flowers they make out of the tissue in our tissue box, worth every penny. Why tip someone for a job I'm capable of doing myself? I can deliver food, I can drive a taxi, I can and cut my own hair. I did, however, tip my urologist, because I am unable to pulverize my own kidney stones. Dwight K. Scroot. Someone sat it above and got gold. You deserve gold because you actually credited Dwight. Driveway plowing service. Nothing more heavenly than laying in bed at 2 AM and hearing the driveway being plowed while I am comfy in bed. A driveway is long and probably 30 degrees, 2 cars wide, would take us hours with a snowblower, but for $35 it is clear when we wake up. I love seeing the lights of the plow while laying in my warm bed. Everything you can't do yourself because you're gonna screw up or do it badly, just leave for someone that really knows how to do it. Exceptions are little things that you can do yourself. My mom used to say if you want it well done, do it yourself. Then every time I see myself waiting for someone to do something and I realize I can do it myself, I just go right away and solve the problem. It's a little more superficial than a lot of the comments I've seen so far, but getting your nails done. Mine always get fricked up if I do them myself, and it's so worth the like $50 month to have beautiful nails that I can be proud of and make me happy every time I glance at my hands. I also bit my nails and the skin around them for most of my life, and getting acrylics, semi-permanent fake nails, helped immensely with that. Even for men or masculine people, a manicure can be a really worthwhile form of self-care. You only realize how often one looks at their own hands when yours are looking good, and every time you see them it gives you a little happiness, and that in and of itself is totally worth paying for if you ask me. The IMCA. For just $20, or cheaper if you're in college, a month I had some friends, pool access, a sauna, steam room, indoor track, towel service, etc. If I had a choice it would have kept me from moving. 101% recommended even if you don't go too often. There's nothing like spending an hour in a sauna having the most relaxing heat stroke of your life. Personal trainer. When I had one it took so much of the pain in the hoop out of working out. PT sets up all your next equipment, puts it away again, keeps you right with your form when doing an exercise too. All you do is turn up, and they get you fit. Well worth it. Bonus 2 if you leave the PT and keep exercising solo, you retain the good form knowledge and know whole routines of exercises off by heart. A lawyer. Seriously, what is wrong with you people? Yes, legal cases are expensive. But you know what's more expensive? You not knowing what the heck you're doing and creating such a disaster of yourself that you're going to now have to spend more money trying to clean up the mess that if you attempt to do alone will assuredly result in you just getting smacked around by the judge. And don't skimp on your lawyer either, trying to shop around on price. Get the best service you can afford, and by afford I mean all the money you can muster by borrowing, breaking open the piggy bank, etc. Why? Because you're not buying legal services, you're buying your goddamn quality of life. You know all those stories from guys who got divorced and then got fricked by the system. They probably had a crappy lawyer because they went with someone billing $175 HR to save on expenses. But meanwhile their lawyer only has 2 clients and are struggling to keep the lights on because they are not even covering their business costs. Either make better life choices so that you don't need an attorney, or get a good one. Financial advice. I used to think maybe not. After all, most of that stuff is basic. Everyone should be able to figure it out. Though I majored in accounting, so biased, but a lot of people are financially illiterate and often don't realize it. If you make much more than minimum wage and have trouble making ends meet, you stretched yourself too thin. And it's amazing to me how many people don't trust the stock market and then turn around and buy lotto tickets, or as I like to call them, the idiot tax. A piano mover. I know a few of your friends offer to save you a few bucks and move it on their own, but just pay for the professional and don't offer to help a friend move his piano. Tell him he really should pay to have it moved. Pick up a piano wrong and you could injure your back for life. You could damage the instrument, damage your stuff, and get damaged in the move. For your information, piano movers often charge by how many steps or landings you have, and for good reason. If it's not a straight shot from the piano to the truck, you absolutely want a professional moving it. Moving containers. We just moved from the Midwest to the coast and were about to rent a Penske truck, but we realized we would have to drive it through mountains, buy gas for it, drive separately instead of switch off since we had another car to drive and one to tow, and park it at campgrounds. Hassle. For about $600 more, we got 2 Rolo cubes through a pack and had them ship our stuff to us, and them. Nothing was damaged. They were delivered within 2 business days when we were given a quote of $5,700. They were incredibly quick and efficient in dropping them off and picking them up in tight city streets, and it allowed us to switch off when we drove so we could get to our new home faster and more safely. I can't recommend them enough. Laundry pickup and drop off. Granted, this is a luxury for some people, but the amount of time you save not having to go to the laundromat or fold your clothes is worth its weight in gold. I'll never wash an item of clothing again in my life. Painting. I had a job painting houses for a while, and if I learned one thing, it's that professionals will save a lot of time and a lot of problems. Cleaning, not necessarily a professional deep clean either. If you're one of the gazillions of depressed or chronically ill people out there just getting someone to come clean and tidy your living space, not even regularly, just as needed, it takes an amazing toll off you. If you are new to the channel, you can subscribe. I publish new videos every day. Until then, check another video. Bye for now.